Hi, this is Kim in her car recording a video. I'm going to do this video in the car this time. This one is about how to budget and save for your VFW convention. If you're a new member, this might help a little bit, and a little bit of pre-planning for attending the convention. First expense, especially if you're coming from out of town, is go ahead and reserve your hotel as soon as possible, because that will tell you how much you need for your hotel. Some of the hotels will do add in their cost of the hotel and city tax. What I call hotel tax, it's like city tax and state tax in the cost of the hotel. Because like if you'll see on the website, it will say $110, but then they add in another whatever. I've stayed in a hotel where it was $109 a night, and you add in the hotel and city tax, it was $127 per night with the tax. So you want to add in that if they don't do that for you. It's always a good idea to add in that just in case, because you never know what happens. Also, if you are paying in cash, even though you reserve your room on a credit card or a debit card, you will need to plan for maybe an extra $100, $200, because they'll ask for gratuity or whatever, because of if you pay in cash, if you charge something to the room, such as room service, or there's a mini bar, plan ahead for that as well. Another thing to plan ahead for is tipping. If you're going to use bell service, $1 to $2 a bag, plan for that. Also, budget in for your food. I plan for about $30 a day, not $30 a day, $30 per meal, up to $30 per meal. That's $90 a day. That is $450 for 5 days. So I add that in. Some people add a little bit more, sometimes as much as $50 a day. So that's $50 per meal. That is $150 per day. So remember, because depending on the area you're in for the convention, just like any other trip, you budget for the area of food. Some places are more expensive as far as dining, and some places are not. Some has a mix. This year's convention is actually, the hotel is actually in a mall, so you can get a variety of food at different prices, as cheap as $10 or less, and as much as $50 or $60 per meal. So it really depends on what your tastes are, what you're looking for in a meal, but budget accordingly. Also, if you're planning on being there for the golf tournament, you have to pre-register for that and have the fees for that. So that is something to add into your cost as well. If you're going to attend the the awards banquet, that is usually typically $50 to $60 per ticket. So you may budget that, and you have to also pre-order that and prepay for that. So also plan for that. What I do is I get I get my hotel room, and I start doing my budget. I add up all the cost. I've added the cost of my hotel room with taxes, tipping, because not only that I like to tip for bell services, I tend to use it. If I use it, I tend to tip for any kind of restaurant service I use. I don't typically order room service, but I will sometimes use a hotel restaurant, depending on the area I'm in and how many availability for breakfast options. And sometimes to lower that my food cost, I will bring snacks and some breakfast items, such as donuts or something like that, to help the cost of my food. But I do try to plan in my food budget just a little bit more for tipping as well. I add up all my costs. I add in gas. If I'm driving, I make sure all my car is maintained. That's a cost before you trip, you're go on your trip. If you're driving your own vehicles, make sure your car is up to date on any kind of maintenance it needs, oil changes, tune-ups, anything like that. That's maybe a cost that you're not expecting for your trip. Or gas is also another option for your part of your trip as well. It may sound obvious to some people, but it's not to others. If you're riding with somebody, budget in your cost for your to chip in for gas, because gas can get expensive during the summer. And budget in for extra money for spending money, because you may be doing a lot of shopping. Like I said, this year's Department of Texas convention is in a hotel, is in a shopping mall, so you may want to do a little shopping. Budget in for a little bit of shopping if you would like to do shopping. So I take up when I get all my list, I write on a piece of paper what I need for as hotel cost, got amount I'm budgeting for gas. I'm not budgeting for food. I add all that up and divide it by how many minutes away from the convention. Like, I try to set up the budget well in advance, like around January, end of January, beginning of February, around that time, and I divide it up by 5 or 6, and that is how much I'm saving for convention. Sometimes, like I said, I will save money for bringing in my own snacks, bringing in my own sodas and water, because I know I'm going to want a lot of water. I know I'm going to want a lot of soda. Sometimes I'll bring a Brita filter water bottle, and sometimes that doesn't work always because of the hotel water sometimes tastes kind of funny, so I will bring my own bottled water. Just remember, if you want to do budget in, if you're not expecting to spend $550 on the hotel room, budget in an extra $50 to $100. If you're planning to spend no more than $30 per meal, budget ahead extra. Also, in the cost of, if you're like someone that likes to stop and at a hotel, at gas stations and pick up snacks on the way, add that into your cost as well, because sometimes those snacks do get expensive. A lot of times what I do is I pre-plan in my budgeting process the snacks I know I'm probably going to want, like the water, the sodas I'm going to want, the snacks and chips, and I'll put the breakfast items in as well. So that way I'm not always spending the entire money. But I still do bring that money. I still budget it for that money, even though sometimes I will not spend that money. Sometimes I'll eat meals in the hotel, the hospitality rooms that some of the VFW districts hold on, and I'll just say, okay, well, I've got $30 I planned for this meal. Here's $5 for buying raffle tickets for that convention, that hospitality room, and I'll probably spend maybe anywhere from $20 to $30. I mean, $10, $20, maybe in one day on food, on raffle tickets for the hospitality rooms, but I didn't spend anything on food or drinks. So that is also consideration. So you may want to actually add, and unless you rather eat out every single meal or spend money on every single meal, go right ahead. I'm not judging. This is a judgment-free zone, but I just budget because there's tons of situations like I'm not wanting the food that the hospitality rooms are offering. Sometimes they just gotten to the point where some of them will just do snacks, or they run out of the food before I get there, which is fine. I can always go to, Whataburger or McDonald's, something that's nearby, and grab something and go. I hope this was helpful information. I hope you enjoy it. Talk to you later. Bye.